Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Overwatch video. It is officially winter in Overwatch. The event has gone live. You can of course see that by the festive background here. And of course that also means that there are now festive themed loot boxes, winter loot boxes. There's a winter game mode, so if you guys go to play and then go into the arcade, you can of course find May's Snowball Offensive. I will be checking that out later on. But of course on top of that, the most important thing, there are new skins, voice lines, emotes, things like that, the usual kind of customization options that you come to kind of expect from these events. So in this video, we're going to take a look at all of those. So if you guys do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Also, let me know in the comments down below, from what you're about to see, what are your favourites. So, diving into the hero gallery, unfortunately, much like the other events, there are not skins for every single character. So there will be some people that'll kind of unfortunately miss out this time round, but where they don't have skins, they typically have something else. So starting off with Anna, she doesn't have a skin, but she does have a victory pose, so going down to Toast. She holds her signature teacup up high, of course, keeping warm in the winter, and she also has a voice line, scrolling right to the bottom, I'm watching out for you. Then moving over to Bastion, he does not have a skin, nor does he have a victory pose, but he does have a voice line. Then moving over to Diva, she also doesn't have a skin, but she does have a victory pose where she's kind of got these sort of cool Christmas lights wrapped around her mech, which does look kind of cool, kind of festive, and she also has a voice line.
Aw, you shouldn't have.
Then moving over to Genji, again, no skin for him, but he does have a very hilarious voice line. I really like this one.
Merry Christmas!
Probably the happiest you're ever going to hear Genji sound. So moving over to Hanzo, he also has a voice line, but no pose.
A gift for you.
Then moving over to Junkrat, he has a voice line, but nothing else.
Merry Christmas!
However, Lucio is the first character in the list that actually does have a skin. So scrolling down here, about halfway down, Andes is his Christmas skin, so turquoise blue. He's got a Santa hat on, cool sort of backpack on as well. For the most part, it looks basically like his kind of regular kit, but I do really like the kind of Christmas hat and sort of fancy shades. And of course, if you jump over to his weapon, then you have a couple of sort of Christmassy details around the front, so that is what it looks like. And of course, he also has a holiday voice line.
Happy holidays!
Then moving over to McCree, he also has a skin. This one is kind of hilarious. It makes him out to be the Scrooge of Christmas. So he's got a top hat on, a wintry cape. Again, for the most part, his kind of costume is relatively similar to sort of his, you know, usual kind of stuff, but still pretty cool. And his weapon for this one is like this. You've got a little mini kind of spinner on the back and this sort of gold and black color scheme. He also has a voice line, much like everyone else.
Someone had to break the ice.
And also, this time around, an emote. Then after that, moving over to May, of course she has a skin. It would be a hugely missed opportunity if she didn't. She has Mayri. I'm loving the pun there. She has a Santa suit, so kind of basic there, but does look really cool, really festive. The whole sort of red and green color scheme going on there. Even the little kind of like icicle chamber at the back has a bow on the top, which is super cool. But that is her outfit, and also this is her weapon. So again, the sort of Christmassy color scheme, the sort of green and red elf thing. She of course also has a voice line.
I got you something.
And she has an emote. Then moving on to Mercy, she doesn't have a skin sadly, but she does have a victory pose, where she's holding the mistletoe right above her head. And of course, going down, she does also have a voice line.
Your guardian angel.
Then moving on to Farah, she does have a skin. This one is actually really cool. Frostbite basically makes her out to be the Ice Queen, so her usual kind of get-up, but with these sort of frozen icicles poking all out. I really like this one, actually. It's kind of sort of cool and subtle at the same time. So that's that, and that is, of course, what her weapon looks like, so her icicle rocket launcher. She also has a victory pose, and she is holding up her also kind of like a cup of tea, sort of like Anna, but this time it's just in a tin cup. And of course, she has a voice line.
Want to know the forecast?
Then moving over to Reaper, he, believe it or not, despite the fact that he's not a very Christmassy guy, does have a skin, and this is, oh my gosh, after the Halloween one, I didn't think it could get any better. This is definitely something I want. Reaper is actually one of my main characters that I use, so this is so awesome. I'm loving the sort of like glowing, ghoulish looking face, sort of icy color scheme, and the sort of, you know, icicle down the back as well. And as for his weapon, again, same sort of thing, but a sort of icicle, very cold looking color scheme here. And as for the rest of it, he also has a voice line.
Where's your holiday spirit?
After that, dropping down to Reinhardt, who doesn't have a skin this time around, but he does have a victory pose, and that is Toast. Of course, this time a much more amplified version of the whole sort of cheers thing, but that is pretty cool. Massive cup for a big dude, and of course his voice line.
You're on my naughty list.
After that, moving over to Roadhog, he does have a skin. He has the Rudolph skin, so he is our reindeer for Christmas. We haven't come across Santa just yet, but that'll be there very, very soon. But he, of course, has his candy cane hook, his Rudolph nose on his stomach, and he also says ho ho hog on his belt buckle, which is kind of cool. And as for his weapon, that is his shotgun, and this is also his candy cane hook. And after that, he also has a voice line. Moving on from there to Soldier 76, he doesn't have a skin or an emote, but he does have a victory pose. Again, you know, the running sort of toast theme here. That is, of course, something that most of these guys do have. And he also has his usual voice line.
Stay frosty.
Sombra, of course, one of our new characters, she does have a skin. She's been blessed this time around. She has peppermint, so the sort of candy cane peppermint colour scheme that you sort of expect from Christmas. As for, you know, form factor, it's basically the same as some of her other skins, but still pretty cool. And that is, of course, her weapon. I actually really like the colour scheme for that one. That is pretty sweet. And after that, she has a voice line.
I know who's been naughty.
Symmetra up next. She doesn't have a skin, an emote, or a victory pose, but she does have a voice line.
I made you something.
And then moving on to Torbjorn. Yes, this is, of course, a given. Also would have been a massively missed opportunity if he didn't have a skin. He is the winter-themed Santa Claus. So he's got Santa clad. He, of course, has his twin Christmas trees in the back. A backpack full of presents, a wooden-looking hook, and also his hammer. But he looks so cool. I'm loving the bells on his beard as well. As for his weapon, this is his gun. Again, the sort of, you know, wooden theme. Looks kind of like a toy in that respect. And also the hammer. As for his victory pose, he also has toast. Of course, leaning on one foot here. And for his voice line,
Made to order.
nearly done then. Moving over to Tracer. She does seem to get a lot of love when it comes to skins. She has the Jingle skin, so she is basically one of Santa's little helpers, the sort of elf skins. So bells on the part of her skirt, the sort of elf boots and whatnot, but does look pretty cool. And as for her weapons, that is what they look like. And as for her voice line, it is this one.
It's in the bag.
After that, Widowmaker, she has nothing but a voice line, so this is your option here.
Exquisite.
Actually lucky enough to get that one out of my very first loot box. And then moving over to Winston. Yes, I actually said on Twitter this morning, I was like, hey guys, if Winston gets a Yeti skin, I am maining Winston. And oh, look at this. This is incredible. It's pretty expensive, 3,000 coins, but it is super cool. He has these big sort of skulls on his back. Of course, the whole sort of Yeti appearance, these big moustache, big sort of fur around his face, ropes around his arms, looking super cool. So yeah, definitely I'm going to spend some time playing as Winston if I can snag this skin. And as for his weapon, this is what it looks like. Looks sort of like a hedge trimmer or a chainsaw. Of course, you've got the wooden around the side, just to sort of mask the fact that it's actually a laser rifle. And as for the rest of it, he just has a voice line, which is...
I, got you something.
After that, moving over to Zarya, she has a skin. This is the frosted skin. So, again, pretty basic, but it's just sort of like a, you know, wintry colour scheme. Sort of urban camo there, winter camo. And sort of a, you know, white and blue colour scheme there. And as for her weapon, it is just massive and pink. So that'll be a nice contrast for her her skin. She does also have an emote. It's kind of mean, actually. Poor toy. And as for her voice line...
For the motherland.
And then finally moving over to Zenyatta, he does have a skin. He rounds it out with this very, very awesome Nutcracker skin. I absolutely love this one. Also loving the fact that the orbs around him are actually just, you know, nuts as well. So looks kind of cool, and he looks like one of the toy soldiers. As for his weapon, then basically what you've just seen, they are basically just massive walnuts. So yeah, super cool. And finally, for his voice line, he has this one.
No snowflake ever falls in the wrong place.
And that, my friends, is pretty much it. There are a few sprays there as well, basically just sort of like snowmen and whatnot, and there are a couple for each of the individual characters, but we'll of course discover them as we go. But for the time being, in terms of character customization, skins, emotes, and voice lines, that is what is on offer during the winter event. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favourite, what you guys are going to be going after. And thanks very much for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.